Hi, everybody. Thought I would pop in for a little while. I know it's a little bit late, but I'm not really on a schedule anymore. I just do things when I need to do them. So, we're going to talk about this new reality coming in, um, being ushered in. And when I say reality, I mean how things are changing according to everything that's going on. All the systems in place have now had to adjust or change in major ways due to one thing. So, how to change everything with only one thing? This is the way. So, we're going to talk about how this whole coronavirus and quarantine has changed every system that we know of at once. You said 5D is here? Yep. So, I think a lot of people want things to go back to normal or how they used to be, but it will never go back that way. It may go back to a certain aspect of what was, but it will never be that way again 100%. We have left that behind. So nothing will ever be the same again. Not how you deal with work, disease, business, money, school, none of it will go back. Government, none of it will go back. Everything has changed and it will never go backwards. So if you look throughout history, all major events, such as major diseases, wars, depressions, and things like that, have changed how, a country or even the world moves forward in their evolution, in their business, in um, life in general. A lot of things change. But out of all of those things, new and more innovative things emerge. New creations, new inventions, new ideas. Because when the old way has been pushed aside, new things have to come about, or, different things, have to come about. And usually, some good, some bad, but usually it's it's good and more innovative and also helpful to many, many, many people. So out of whatever, this is going to come some good things as well. So don't just look for the bad, also look for the good. I think I saw this woman on Instagram talking about how the system does not work for many people who are at poverty level in this country anyway. And now the people that are not on poverty level have begun to realize that, you know, they have the same problem now because of this whole thing. They can't get the resources that they need. They can't get through to certain agencies for help. They can't have, just normal everyday services rendered to them, da da da. So they're getting a taste of what, a lot of people below poverty level get on a daily basis, that they deal with on a daily basis. And, a lot of people are freaking out because they can't deal with that. But a lot of people are used to dealing with that and they know ways around it, loopholes, et cetera, et cetera. So, they're fine. They're pretty much, we're good. This is normal for us, that A, B, C, and D. And then other people can't wrap their mind around certain things. So honestly, I feel that a lot of people will start to look deeper into issues that they never cared about before and try to fix them or reinvent them or, demolish a whole system together and start something that actually works, you know, in that way for everybody. Um, you said you can't find Lysol is your biggest problem. That's funny. That's your biggest problem. Okay. That's a lot of people's problem right now. They can't find Lysol. Um, I bought some before the whole thing hit. For some reason, I just said, I need some Lysol. Okay. Shira, I was just watching Diddy's broadcast on Revolt TV. I had to leave, just still just talk from what I saw, no solutions. Da, da, da. Um, the only solution is within yourself. What are you going to do differently about your life? Everybody's solution starts from their own life. Okay. No one is going to change something on a massive level if no one is going to change on a small level. That's kind of like trying to put deodorant on a crowd that's musty. Okay. You got to put deodorant on at home, baby. Then the crowd won't be musty. You see, so you can't fix a problem or you can't find a solution if individuals aren't willing to find their own solutions. Okay. Don't be laughing at my analogy. I have to make it very clear as to how it starts individually. People can talk about getting deodorant on. People can say, oh, I almost put deodorant on, but I forgot. Or I meant to buy some deodorant. But until you put it on, we can't really start the solution now, can't we? So we got to take care of ourselves individually before we can help anybody else. That's just how it is. You can't help someone if you can't help yourself. Point blank, period. Um, just like, when you're on a plane, they like put your mask on first, then help somebody else. So talking about something and you're not even there yet is pointless. It's just a way to distract yourself from doing your work. That's how I feel about it. Um, what I think is really happening is people are being weaned off the system. Like how if you have a baby, you have to wean them off of your milk, then onto a bottle, then onto some juice, then onto some water, then to a cup and a sippy cup. This is exactly what is happening. You're being weaned off of a system. And because if you're getting ready to switch positions of power as a whole, as a people, then you can't use a system that you never created. Because then who was really still in power? Right? So, not going to work out. It's just like you can't say, oh, I'm taking over and then just go run someone else's company. It doesn't work that way. So, weeding off and rebuilding another type of system that works for you, right? And they say there will be a good shortage. This is part of the plan. A good shortage of what? Right. Stopping folks from buying seeds to grow your own food. I bought seeds the other day at Target. I guess it just depends on where you go and where you live. Because like you can order seeds on Amazon.com. You can order seeds everywhere. They have the internet where you can just order whatever you want. We don't need to be focused on stuff that is easily solved. Like they might not be selling seeds at this store because they don't see it as essential, but they sell it on Amazon. They sell it online. I know people that sell seeds on Etsy. Okay. Mhm. There you go. Seeds at Dollar Tree, $4 for $1. Exactly. See, so let's not focus on what's not important. Y'all, do y'all have a garden at home already? Have y'all ever grown a seed before? You know, there is not going to be a food shortage. There are restaurants stocked up full of food. There are warehouses stocked up full of food. There are Believe me, there's not going to be a food shortage. They're just making it seem like there's going to be a food shortage, okay? You said it's global. There's not a food shortage. There's just an illusion of a food shortage, okay? Y'all have to realize, okay? Go look out. If there was really a food shortage, there would be an animal shortage and a tree shortage and you know, a shortage of stuff to bake food with. You know, there will be a shortage of all that, but there's not. There's not really a food shortage. Okay. I think people eat too much anyway. I know I'm guilty of overindulging. Many people don't need the food that they have. Maybe they're trying to get people healthier by eating less. You know, we didn't used to eat this much. I remember in the 70s, well, when you look back at the 70s and 60s, everybody was skinny. Everybody was thin, long, and skinny like a string bean. They could fit them little pants with you didn't even, because they weren't overindulging. They ate when they went home. They ate when they got up in the morning, ate when they went home or had lunch, maybe had a sandwich. They weren't overindulging in food. America is the like one of the most obese countries. You can never have a food shortage in the most obese country ever. That don't make no sense. Okay? We just gotta think for a second. Everybody's afraid, oh, we're gonna run out of food, but you 800 pounds, you 600 pounds, my 600-pound life. But you have enough food stored in your fat cells for like at least 3 weeks. Oh, but there's like wild ducks and animals over there. If you really want to eat, you know how to eat. Oh, there's fish, there's crawfish, there's lobsters if you just have to eat something. Oh, there's vegetable, there's fruits on all them trees over there. You know, that lady down the street with that orange tree, she got 18 oranges on the floor right there. Go pick them up. Um, if you live in Texas, go get all them pecans that be falling. Okay. If they don't run out of food in China with billions of people, we will never run out of food here. Y'all just being scared for no reason. Yeah, the grocery stores might close and might not restock, but you can go so you can order food online. I ordered nugs online. There are these vegan nuggets. They came right to my door with some what you call it? Dry ice. You can buy seeds online and plant your own garden if you want to do that. Okay. You can go buy a chicken if you eat meat and raise it somewhere. I don't know. Okay. But all I'm saying is there is no food shortage. There's just an illusion of a food shortage. I was in the store the other day and this lady was like, every time I go to the store, I spend so much money now because I'm thinking it's all going to be out and gone. And so I buy extra. They're trying to boost the economy by making you scared to go buy extra food and stuff. So, um, all the industries that have been lacking can, get a little boost for, whatnot. But the point is, don't be afraid of any shortages. I would never be afraid to starve to death in one of the most obese countries ever. Okay, that don't make no sense. Okay, okay. Anyway, who going to China after all this? Y'all are silly. I don't have the fear that most people have. And I think that's what also helps me to see things on a different perspective and a different viewpoint. Everyone has, a certain amount of fear that they see things with. And I just really don't have that amount of fear. Like it's not that I have no fear. It's just like if you know certain things, you fear less. So I feel that if we just sit down and think about things for a second and not just take what people tell you, just think for yourself, you're probably going to come to the conclusion that some things are just an illusion and just to scare you into doing certain things. Okay. hmm People are buying extra. You spent $400 on groceries and cleaning supplies when we first went on quarantine. I have never spent that much on types of items on that. Well, you have enough to last you throughout the rest of the year now on the cleaning supplies and toilet paper, though, right? I didn't go overboard like that. I mean, if I need something, I'll get out and go to the store and go get it. I'm not worried about any of that. I'm not scared like that. Um, and that's just the type of person I have always been. Always. Right. Um, and I already said, I'm not going to talk anymore about diets Y'all eat whatever y'all want to eat, whatever y'all feel like eating, think that's right to eat. And I can't tell you when it's all going to end because I already know that people are going to do what they're going to do. And that's just going to be that. But I kind of like the whole thing. I ain't gonna lie, I kind of like it. I like not having to wake up and take my kids to school. I like no traffic. I like quiet stores, grocery stores or whatever. I like it. It's very peaceful. So I can't really complain. I still doing everything that I did before. Except I can't go get these nails did. That's the only thing. The only thing that I can't do before quarantine is get my nails done. That's it. Nothing else that is off limits to me. Um, you said the same. Right. The only thing good that would come of this is learning how to do your own nails and saving all that money. Right. How am I keeping my kids busy? Because they have phones. They keep themselves busy. We have Netflix, cable, phones, coloring books. Me, look, I entertain them. Thank you, Melanie. I enjoy the shift. I'm doing press on nails. Oh yeah, I was gonna do those, but I would have to get these off first. Thank you, Miss Mika Marie Sprinkle Sprinkle. Will you restock phase one? I just did before the video, baby. I knew someone was gonna ask, so I already restocked everything. Go check out my store on Etsy, Dark Realm, and my elixirs. Everything is restocked. Thank you, Sprinkle Sprinkle. Um, so yeah, I like it. The perfect time to learn the craft of doing nails. I might just go ahead and do that. Hey, you never know. Yeah, take my nails off. I sure I'm gonna try. If that'll be my week. That'll be my goal for next week. Do I think Christ is here already? He been here, never left, baby. Sprinkle, sprinkle. She, he, it, been here, never left. Christos, Christos, anointed. That's what it means. Right. We are living in virtual space. Yeah. TikTok making people lose weight with those dance challenges. I know. I've been watching all those dance challenges. I told Layla, well, never mind, because I know a lot of people get triggered by me when I talk about certain things, but we were looking for an interesting place to do the little dance thing. My kids are like, Mom, you're weird. It's like, let's do it in the cemetery. So we didn't do it, but we drove through one, but we didn't do the thing in the cemetery. She said, that would be disrespectful. I said, yeah, but what if they like the entertainment? It's not like we're twerking on graves like they used to do it back in the day. That's disrespectful. Mm-hmm. It's raining over here if y'all could hear that. So what I did today, we were Layla was tired of being in the house because she stayed in the house. Sasha and I would go out all the time, but we drove around. We drove downtown. We drove through the little ritzy artsy area, uptown. The little hippy dippy area of town. Then we went downtown. We went and got some to go food from this cool restaurant. Then we drove through the cemetery. Then we went. Then we took the long way home. Drove and got some Krispy Kreme donut drinks, and they have like slushies and stuff that the kids like. And then we went home. hmm Right. The New World Order. Well, that could mean so many different things. So many people put a bad connotation on a new world order. We only have one world. And when one thing affects the entire world, there will be a new type of order, So I don't look at it as scary. I look at it as, everything has to change eventually. It doesn't mean, if things stay the same, it becomes stagnant, and that's pretty much death. So everything has to change on a global scale. Just think about when one country first got electricity. The rest of the world had to go get electricity too, or most of the world. Or when they first got a phone, the rest of the world had to get a phone. When they first got the internet, the rest of the world had to get the internet, right? When they first got 5G, the rest of the world got 5G. When they first got the Rona, the rest of the world that got the Rona got the Rona. Okay. And I believe that, okay, now this is a conspiracy in itself, but it makes sense to me in my scientific mind. If there are 5G waves running through the air and your voice and your body is electric and your breath and your spit is plasma, your disease or your cough or your plasma and your germ can turn electric in the air, and it could zoop onto the next country, onto the next city, onto the next whatever. Your disease becomes waves, not particles. That's quantum physics. Once you introduce 5G to the world, your disease can be from here to China in 2 seconds. Your disease can be what they call teleported that fast. So, something to think about. And if you think about this, and I talked about this last year, this is the freaky part. It's the freaky part right here. Y'all remember when I talked about dead people and 5G? When I spoke about dead people and 5G, like how your soul leaves your body, how you go up in the air and you get got. You got to go. Remember, I said you got to go down, get activated, heat up, get activated, and blast off like a cosmic ray. Because if you go up as a regular energy, you can get caught up in a 5G, baby. You're going to be a prisoner of the waves. You're going to be roaming the earth forever. It's even in the Bible when they say they flew around the earth for 4 days. And I think it was the Gospels of Paul or something. I don't remember what it was. Ooh, he had to fly around the world for 4 days before he was judged. That's straight up in the 5G waves. And then even Lupe Fiasco came out with an album called Waves. Okay, when you die, don't go up, go down. Go get activated. Go heat yourself up in the core. Go to the halls of Amenti, down to the fire. Heat yourself up in the core as a soul. Then get activated through the water, which will then turn you into the gamma ray or the cosmic ray that will shoot up and out. Don't rise from your dead body and go, oh, I'm going to go to the heavens. The light going to get you and circle you around, and you're going to be 5G. Okay. Just saying. Told y'all this last year. Germs are now showing you germs, diseases that spread quick, that turn into energy, can be spread through 5G. Imagine 6G. So if germs can be spread, thoughts can be spread. Next, that's going to be 6G. So that's why you have a lot of people afraid to catch it. Now, if you're vibrating on a certain frequency and your body naturally absorbs radiation, whatever, depending on your frequency. So if you have a high frequency body, whatever is coming to you through the 5G or with that germ on it, it may not affect you as it will affect someone with a lower frequency. It's a jam. It's a frequency jam. You know, the frequency, the stronger frequency wins. So if 5G is stronger than your frequency and there's a germ in it, which your frequency is you as well as your immune system, if that is stronger than what you got going on over here, it wins. Okay. Just like when Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader was doing this, that is the jam. That is the battle. If your frequency or your light or your light savior is stronger than this one's, then you win. Fire in my state about an hour away. Any suggestion? Thank you, Lotus. I don't know what state you're in. Sprinkle, sprinkle, but be safe. Wear the mask, wear the bandana when you go outside. Don't go outside and breathe in that smoke. Get you an air purifier or get out of town, baby. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Thank you, Dr. Ambrosia Goddess. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Having been a very successful Psy vampire, I am now realizing it's limiting and low vibrational, especially during this time. Thanks for your videos on alchemy. I've come to the goddesshood. Thank you. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Yeah, that's everything has its time and place. When times change, people's habits have to change. You see? When just like when the whole, AIDS epidemic came about, people started changing the way that they slept with people. When times change, when things hit, you must change, you know? So we just have to realize that when times change, habits have to change, or else you're going to get got. If you look back and see how a lot of things have changed that forced people's habits to change, you'll see exactly, what's happening now and will probably happen in the future. hmm Um, I don't think there'll be much of a recession because people can still shop pretty much online. And it's actually cheaper to have an online business than to have a business that's, a public business. So I think a lot of people will figure that out. And that adjustment might take a couple of years. But eventually, I think there'll be less storefronts, more like, smaller spaces, like it is now, where you can just pick up stuff and go. Or they'll have like one community area where everyone can just go sit and eat, like in a court, like a food court in a mall, but they'll just have little mini small places, because there needs to be more room for grass and stuff to grow, and um you know whatnot like that, because that's why a lot of floods take place, and because they're taking too much of the natural ground away by putting cement everywhere. So they're going to start to probably have smaller um, storefronts, but more community type or based places where people can gather, but not build these huge, places. That's what I see, because I see a lot of those types of places being built, like those city centers or those town centers where you have a big courtyard and small restaurants and like one little chain. They don't take up a lot of space. There's no huge dining rooms, and it's just more of a community rather than a restaurant after restaurant after restaurant. So I think they're finding ways to compact, building things and allowing more natural ground to remain. And if they aren't, they should be, because that's what causes a lot of flooding and things like that. Um, it specifically says an economic free fall. I think it's used for ID 2020 cashless society. Well, it doesn't really matter whether society is cashless or not. The point is, either way, like I said, there used to be gold. People used to carry around big old chunks of gold, bars of gold, nuggets of gold. Everything is based on gold. And they used to carry around promissory notes. Then there was checks. Now there's credit cards, you know. So eventually money also evolves too, People were probably scared of checks back in the old days. Ooh, I can't just take that piece of paper for that gold. Don't I can't do it. I don't trust it. They- you know? And remember, they didn't really have contracts back then. They just had a handshake and your word. That's good enough for me, your word. Now they got contracts, legal documents, witnesses, notaries. So things change, things evolve. And I understand why people are afraid, just the same as that old dude from the Wild West was afraid to trade in his gold nugget for a piece of paper. We understand. But it is what it is. But you can always keep gold, baby. You can still keep gold. But you can't spend gold at the store. You gonna look at you crazy. You can go to the pawn shop though. Thank you, JLJ Sprinkle Sprinkle. 72-hour fast is a great way to cleanse your body for toxicity and to vibrate higher. Thank you, Sprinkle Sprinkle. Sure is. So I don't use cash anyway. I hate using cash. And some people have to force me to get cash. I'm like, I hate cash. Y'all don't take credit cards. Y'all don't take Cash App. Y'all don't take PayPal. Right. I use cash for lottery. Well, I mean, I'm sure cash will always be around. It's just not going to be used as much. It will always be around. It's just not going to be used as much. Just like gold. You can always use gold. You can always go to the pawn shop and pawn gold. You can go to the coin exchange and exchange. You can always do that, but it's not going to be the main source of how people spend, especially if they're shifting a lot of the business online. hmm Do you know God was also talking to Egypt when he said, "Let us make man in our image"? No, I don't know. I don't know. I just know that there are several interpretations to many stories and ancient texts. So I think that a lot of people understand that man was created, or some men were created. Of course, that's the creation story of man. hmm You sit only at the strip clubs. They're gonna have these new things, or you just scan. Okay, they gonna have like one of them things that you just scan. They gonna work out a because I've already seen it. Look, they're gonna have like on them garter belts on, and you put your phone up to it and just cat you just take money out your thing. Somebody gonna hack it and be stealing everybody money in the club and they twerk. Anyway, that would be funny. What's your view on creation versus burial? Mermaid meat. Well, it depends on how many times you lived before and what you want to do in your afterlife. Do you want to go to the cosmos? Do you want to go inside the earth? Do you want to become part of the system of earth? Do you want to become part of the cosmos? It's up to you. You know, um, I want to, it just all depends. How do you want to be born? How do you want to be reborn? Do you want to be space born? Or do you want to wait? I mean, read the Emerald Tablets. I think, like, if you're buried, first of all, it depends on how you buried. If you get embalmed, forget it all, because you're being pumped full of chemicals and all your natural juices and stuff is now tainted and not what it was. But if you just get buried like a regular burial with no cremation, I mean, with no embalming or chemicals in your body, and your body is actually touching the earth, and all your bodies and chemicals in your bodies can melt into the earth and become part of the system of trees, dirt, mushrooms, grass, or whatever, then you can basically live through that type of energy on the earth, on the planet. Okay. But if you become spaceborne, this is what they did in ancient Egypt when they put the pharaohs in the ancient pyramids into the after the mummification process, their um, their souls would be shot up into the cosmos via the electromagnetic frequencies of the pyramid, the water, the sun, and the crystals in the stone. So it all depends on where you want to go. Because, you know, how can I ensure that I am reborn as a sloth? That's a good question. Thank you, Medusa Sprinkle Sprinkle. Shira, how are the strip clubs going to change after this? I'm a stripper and I'm worried about my money. Girl, get online and strip. Nobody will touch you and you can get cash out. Sprinkle, sprinkle. You ain't even got to go nowhere. Get online and strip. Hey, sprinkle, sprinkle. Wear a mask. You ain't got to waste your gas. Just put it all out there. Get paid double, triple. Um, you said depressing times. Thank you, Laria. No more making it rain at the strip club. I know you gonna have to make it ching ching on the cash app. Okay, make it ching. So it sounds like a rough life. Yeah. Well, people are gonna do what they're gonna do. If that's your business and that's what you do for a living, make it work online. Went to the store today and no eggs, all milk rolls, a rows of milk, no meat, a lot of fruit and veggies. Well, I hope you got some fruit and veggies. Hmm. Do okay. So, did you check the David Icke link I sent to your IG? I haven't gotten a chance to watch that yet. Like, here's my thing. I don't do all the fear stuff. I know about 5G, been knowing about 5G since last year, talked about 5G last year. Baby, I know that 5G will take the dead up, take your germ across the world real quick. It's so much more than what people know. It's just so much more than what people think it is. Okay. So I don't do the fear factor stuff. I already know what it is. And when you know what certain things are doing and what they are, and protection and this and that, and also how to keep your frequency above that, it's not really a super threat to you. I don't feel that it's a super threat to me. So I'm not like, and I already researched that stuff a long time ago. If you go back to a year and a half ago on my channel, I've talked about all that. Hmm. Right. I was on Instagram today, and the Michael Jackson Instagram posted the "This Is It" statue. I mean, the "This Is It" advertisement, the poster, and they said that tonight, for the first time ever, that "This Is It" would be aired on Showtime. Stay in and watch. So, message. Thank you, unapologetic Ella. Thank you for your knowledge. You always brighten my days like the sun. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. So, for some reason, people are wanting you to stay in tonight. And there was some weird lightning outside my window and rain and stuff like that too. I don't know. Some weird wind that just like I have some pillows outside on my little backyard swing, and the wind just picked it up and just blew it so far. And the pillow is not light, it is heavy. Okay. So giant gusts of wind, crazy lightning. Um, world will change according to this whole thing because okay, now think about this. Everyone going to be accountable for everyone else's health. I'll repeat that. Everyone will be accountable for everyone else's health. They're creating a system where we have to work as a collective, as one unit. We have to convince each other to do something so that everybody will be on the same accord, or else it works against you. So let's say this person is sick, they don't take care of themselves, they got a poor diet, they be eating rats and bats and cows and just rotten cheese, whatever, not washing their hands, wiping their butt, just living in the grossest of gross, right? And then, they cough, they get some strange concoction built up in their lungs and they cough. And like they're by 5G waves, and it picks up the 5G picks up that germ and zoom, it's at the next person's house. Not even though they're clean, washing their little hands, and you know, if their frequency is low and 5G affects them on a negative basis, on a negative way, they might come in contact with that germ. And you know how they said it's airborne? Okay. Um, Now how can a cat get it? Now how can all these different animals start getting it unless it's being carried in a different frequency? Okay. It's very rare that a lot of diseases come through onto animals and then humans and back to animals. So it's being carried through the 5G, the interweb, the internet. It's also being carried around by people that, you know, may have the germ and then, then they walk into a 5G frequency and then they cough and it takes off again. So people are going to have to either evolve to be able to battle those frequencies. I saw, I have it downstairs, but my phone was downstairs, but I saw some type of meme and it said something battle. I think it was a the weekend's cover to a magazine, and it said something about a battle. Um, so if you are not able to battle certain frequencies, you're more likely to get sick because it's a frequency war. It's a spiritual, literally. A spirit is just energy. A spirit is frequencies. So this is literally a spiritual battle. Literally. Like some people always say, well, what happens if you're in a spiritual battle or you're in a spiritual war? This is literally a spiritual war. And spirits, which are frequencies, travel through waves and particles of light. And that's exactly what 5G is. That's what 4G was. But when you hit 5G, it gets faster and more potent. Right. So 5G is out of our hands, adapt. Exactly. And biblically, it says the only way to fight it is to renounce sin, the ways of the sinner. That's all I'm going to say about that. Renounce or stop doing the things that sinners do, if you know what I'm talking about. Sinners. Stop stop living as a sinner. Okay. That means stop living like those people that are considered to have sin or to be like sin or to be like moon. Okay. And that includes everything that they created or do. So, for example, like I said, I'm not going to talk about it anymore because people are too triggered by food. But let's just say, like, okay, let's take the Bible example. Let's just say there was a food in the Bible that they said was a sin to eat. Sinner food is also going to be off limits. So go look up sin and look up the etymology of sin. Okay, it's just very important to look up the word sin. It means certain things in different languages. It means without. It means pale like the moon. It means certain things. So go look up what it means. Read the book of Enoch as well. So um if you turn away from sin and the things that sinners do, that would include diet, thinking, um, systems, and whatnot. And it represents a change of power. Okay. It represents a change of power. So if you're eat like, a lot of people say, oh, well, Africans in Africa are not getting it as much as African Americans. That's because most of their culture has not really been infused with ways of a sinner or foods that sinners cook and eat daily. So a lot of people don't realize that when they speak about certain things in the Bible, it doesn't mean good or bad. It just means a different type of person. And I think, yeah, it just means a different type of person. Um, doesn't mean good or bad. It just means a different type of person. Okay. So, and even that dude got online on the news and said basically the African American community is suffering and getting infected more because they are unhealthy. And they have underlying health issues like diabetes and high blood pressure and A, B, C, and D. So he basically just got on the camera and said, y'all unhealthy and y'all are getting sick too easy because y'all are unhealthy because of your diet. It's the same thing. So I just feel that that also being put out there, that's knowledge, that's information, that's something that probably was overlooked and never heard. So I feel that if you do have diabetes, your immune system is low already, and 5G is coming into contact with you with germs. Okay, if you have high blood pressure, your kidneys are probably on a low function. And so, you probably are less likely to put toxins out of your body easier. If you know medical information, if you know how your body works, if you know thyself inside and out, you'll understand that a lot of the stuff that you put in your mouth really, really, really affects your immune system. So, um, I watched um, that part of it because somebody sent it to me. But yeah, that's basically what he said. Underlying health issues, and that's it. Right. Um, losing. Well, anyway, so it says turn from the ways. That means those are low frequency waves. We're getting ready to go into high frequency. So if you are creating a low frequency within due to low frequency waves and low frequency things, then you're not going to be able to what they call jam. You can't jam it until the break of dawn. You can't jam. You can't you can't jam. You're going to get overpowered. You see. You can't harmonize. You can't beat. You cannot override the system of the 5G carrying germs and stuff. So you're going you're going to submit to it or you're going to override it. Um, yeah. And what I see happening? Only the really strong and smart and wise will survive. That's they want to create a new society. I see it like I see it now. They want a new society. Those who know, those who don't. That's basically just it. Those who naturally do that type of stuff and are naturally high frequency, they're good to go. Those who know. Those who don't, they don't, or they won't listen. Those who know will tell. Those who will listen and comply will have, a decent chance if they comply fast enough. And that's just how it is. They don't care enough about people in order to listen to their excuses. They don't care. This is this is a swift move. This is a swift move. It is a fast transition because when you're competing with other world powers, you don't want to be left behind. When countries are competing for technology and who's going to lead the industry and this and that, you don't want to be behind. So, like I said, people are going to make the sacrifices that need to be made. And that's just how they're going to do it. And they are, whether we like it or not, we live on the earth. Okay, whether we like it or not, we live on earth. And if people are competing for power and shifting powers and people, wanting to stay on a top level and wanting to compete, oh, this country has 5G. Oh, no, this one already has 6G. Oh, I want 7G. Donald Trump says he wants to even go to 7G in one of his older speeches. If you're competing as a world power with other countries and they're surpassing you, um, you might make the necessary sacrifices. So who do you think you are? Ha ha ha, bless your soul. You really think you're in control? Yeah. So, I think I'm someone that knows a little something, something about a little something that I like to share. And someone says, "Who do you think you are?" I don't think I know who I am. Okay, that's the difference. You said China has robot restaurants. Oh, that's cool. Oh yeah, they have like I saw that on some YouTube channel. Mhm. Um, the spiritual Olympics. Olympics 2020, baby. Je suis. Yes. Mhm. Will you be taking any forced vaccination? No, no, I won't need them. Right. Everything will always be free will. That's the rule. That's the only rule. Everything has to be free will. Remember. Where my new record? Y'all silly. Mhm. Give all their money back and enroll in school. I don't need a school. School need me, baby. They need a new curriculum. They need to teach what I teach. I don't need them. They need me. That's the point. Did you know we get our technology from Mercury? Sprinkle, sprinkle. Hey, yeah, that's the planet of technology. Hermes, Thoth. Um, isn't the military knocking on people's doors to check who has corona? No. How they gonna knock on your door if you don't answer? How they gonna know you got corona if you don't answer? Okay. um, that's silly. What you gonna tell them? Yeah, I got the Rona. What you gonna do? um, I think a lot of people are just getting scared and creating more fear and lowering their frequency, which is not good. Mhm. Mhm. Everything will be free will. Everything will be free will. It will always be free will. Just think about, let's go back in time. Let's go back to civil rights. Let's go back to the civil rights movement. It was everyone's free will to march, to do a sit-in, to protest. That's free will. People's free will was used right there. Yes, it was illegal to do A, B, C, and D. Yes, there were police in the street with dogs. People could have saw that as martial law. You know, when you look at your ancestors and you look at your family members who already went through that, there's nothing to fear. That was martial law, but we changed it because we had free will and we did what we was gonna do anyway. You see? If people use their own mind and do what they're gonna do anyway, it don't last. It never will. Mhm. Right. And people don't repeat the past because they saw what it led to. Mhm. You're on here, but you need a real job? I do got a real job. Mhm. Slavery was martial law, exactly. Je suis, tell 'em. But you could run away, but you'd risk your life, but people still use their free will and they risked it. There's nothing new. Right. Um, y'all know there's always a hater in the midst. They just can't stand the truth and they just hate. They love to hate. That's how they get off. That's okay. Haters make you greater, baby. Um, mhm. Mexico had a UFO sighting yesterday. Ooh, I'm about to go look that up. Right. And see, here's the thing. Everybody thinks, oh, New World Order, scary, scary, scary. What was the name of this country before it was America? The New World. Didn't they call this the New World? Oh, then they call America the New World. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't fear stuff like that because I already seen all this stuff take place and I've seen people use their free will and their own mind to overcome it and create a better tomorrow or today or whatever. So I can't live in fear like that. Um, and if I did, then I'd be the same type of people who allow the other people to go forward and create the world that they want to see and let those other people stay back and be scared, you know? I don't feel that it's going to be scary at all. I feel like it's going to be interesting to see what type of person you really are, how you think, what have you learned, who you really are. Do you know yourself? Do you know your past? Do you know your present? Can you create your future? Are you just a pawn? Are you just going to be a sacrifice because you don't know any better? Do you listen? Do you learn? I think this is the whole weeding out process. The weeding out process has to be done because a lot of people, you know, that is going forward into the future, if they don't want you because you don't have a certain type of frequency or mindset, you'll eliminate yourselves. They don't have to do a thing. All they have to do is put out a signal and you will basically eliminate yourselves. And that's exactly what's going on. People eliminating themselves. There's nothing there's nothing you can do because your worst enemy is yourself. And that's exactly what's being implemented right now. Um, you will only take yourselves out. That's it. All the choices and decisions that you've been making for the past, I don't know how many years, are all going to add up. And how you've learned to think is all going to add up right now. This is the purge. This is the judgment. You will judge yourself according to your own works. That's what they say. So, and that's what the preacher's been saying, but they thought you would have to die first. There's judgment after that too, but it will all be based on every decision you made. This is it. So every decision that you've made in life leads to the next thing and the next thing. My decisions to do this, to read that, to learn about this, to stop doing this, to stop doing that, will create my tomorrow. That's it. And I think when most people realize that, things will change for the better. A lot of people are not going to ever realize that, and they're going to go in the opposite direction and destroy themselves. And no one will be responsible for anything but themselves. You know, um, it's always free will. There's always warning. There's always free will. There's always self judgment. We are our worst critics. We are our worst enemies, and we will be our own worst demise. Hmm. And ever so often, when the world gets to a certain point, there is a cleansing, a mass cleansing, and only those with certain frequencies will survive. And that's just how it is. That's how it's been for eons and eons. And that's how it's going to be after this, and so forth and so on. This is how it's done. You will only destroy yourself. So it's kind of like you've been given a set of instructions, you've been given a map, you've been given a key and time and energy and the resources to figure out what you've got to do with it. And then when a certain day comes or when a certain time comes, those who took the time to figure it out and do A, B, C, and D will be able to, like, it's kind of like that Survivor show. It's like Survivor, you know. So go watch the Survivor video by Beyonce, Destiny Child, or whatever. Hmm. Hmm. The virus. Okay, so let's whatever virus is real or not real, or poisons or toxins, whatever. If they become real, if you create an antigen, or I mean a antibody in your body, and it gets into another person's body, it's going to trigger their antibody. So we can just say that. Now, if you have digital waves, 5G waves that carries plasma, which, like, if you cough, there's moisture in that. The waves catch up with the water and the plasma, and that will carry your disease or whatever you got in your throat further than just a cough. So, it's all good, but you're going to have to evolve to a higher frequency and a higher standard of health in order to really thrive in a 5G or 6G world. And they're just weeding out the people who are not getting the messages. Because think about this. Do you really think that they're going to stop with the technology, or they're going to care about the people more? Do you think they love people more or technology? Think about it. Oh, well, the world's too crowded anyway. They send people to war to get shot every day. Do you think that they would trade you for technology? Yes, they will. They will trade you for technology, baby. They will trade you for technology. And when you die, okay, listen to this. If you don't have a strong frequency, if you're a certain lower frequency and you die, you get caught up in the 5G, all your knowledge, all your wisdom, all your mental memory is up in that 5G and 6G now to create more. With you become a tool and you become the technology. Y'all remember that movie Ghost in the Machine? You become that. And so, and you can't get out of it because it's too strong for you to escape it. You just become part of it. Just like I said, when you die and you become part of the the system of the earth and you go into the trees and the mushrooms and the grass, you become part of that system. If you can't escape the planet and you get caught up in the air or in the waves, you become part of that technology. If you are if you're able to blast through as a cosmic ray, you get sucked up and become part of the cosmic system. So either way, you still gonna be part of a system. It just depends on which one you want to be part of, how you want to see your life roll out, which one you're going to be able to jam with, which one you're going to be able to ascend to, which one you can like you can descend and descend, ascend and descend over and over and over and over and over and over again, just like water. We are water. One drop of water never escapes the cosmos. Kanye said we are water. What water never escapes, it just changes forms, becomes gas, plasma, ice, then the plasma would be the lightning. Then it starts all over again. It gets dropped in the ocean. The participation, I mean, the precipitation process all over again. The weather, whatnot. So everything is everything, like Lauren Hill said. And so, yeah, water holds memory. So that's your technology. So depending on how you die, how you what your frequency is when you die is what role or what afterlife you will become, how you're buried, how you what frequency you are when you die, etc., etc. Okay. Um, and that's how it's gonna eventually, well, that's how it is happening, you know. What do you mean the chip? You don't need a chip. Only some people will need the chip. You know what I mean? Not everybody's gonna need a chip because you won't need a chip. So let's just say there's a chip that can make you vibrate on a higher frequency. If you already vibrate on a high frequency, you don't need no chip. You see? You don't need no chip. Um, if the technology gets to a certain degree and you need a chip to vibrate on that degree or whatnot, then you might need the chip. If that Watch that movie Gattaca. I think it's from the 90s. Um, when you walk outside, it's not just going to be solar energy that you're going to need to be protected from. It's going to be the energy that's flowing through the air. And they're already making protective clothing right now, eh, for 5G. And so if there's germs in the air and whatnot flowing through the 5G and your frequency is too low and you're just going to, you're going to catch it, you're going to have to bring your frequency up. And the only way to do that is through electricity. And so if you have a chip in the program and the chip is, working through the electricity of your body and you get the chip in you to vibrate on a higher frequency, or you can mix and get you some high frequency through you melanin, whichever one you want to do is what's going to happen, you know. Um, That's not gonna be something permanently. No one ever that's not gonna be permanent. That's gonna be a temporary fix if someone is sitting there, not being able to get what they need. They've already tried to make synthetic melanin that wasn't working. So the chip may create a synthetic like frequency that will help you get through when you're outside or whatever. But most people are just trying to push going into, the multiracial aspect of humanity. Okay. hmm Yeah, you'll need it. But think about this. Why would you need a chip to buy stuff? How are we going to buy stuff in the future? Through electricity, through 5G. Okay. If you can't handle 5G, how are you supposed to be around anything with 5G? Not the chips aren't for everybody. And I keep trying to tell y'all that. Remember, every ancient text has two types of people. Some people will need this, some people will need that. Think about it. You don't need extra technology. You are the technology. Technology is studying you melanin. Why do you think they're studying you melanin and making microchips out of you melanin? Why do you think that they're trying to make clothing laced with you melanin? Why do you think they're trying to make computers based in I mean, interior where, I don't know what you call that, software, I guess, with, or hardware, internal hardware with you melanin? Why? Because that is a technology. That is a technology. So not everyone needs a chip. If you watch that Cloud Atlas movie and you watch, like, all those people that had them chips on them and stuff, that was the technology. The, yeah. So if you think about it, some people won't need a chip. Some people will, until they realize, okay, I don't want my kid to have to use this chip. So I need to get with somebody that don't need a chip. So my kid might not need a chip. You see? Chip will be like a hearing aid. A chip will be like a bionic eye or something. I don't know. So you're gonna have to get people when we come to that realization that not all people need them chips. That's when everybody's gonna try to be trying to get some melanin. That's when Jay-Z said, "Oh, that's the sound of the price going up." You know, in the Mood Forever song. So when people realize that the price is going to go up, they're gonna try to be getting in good. Oh, y'all, you need some melanin. Oh, they're gonna try to mix in to get the frequency. And so that's what it's gonna come to. And everybody will be one race after that. After they realize, I don't want this chip thing. I just give me the real thing. Okay. Um, that reminds you of Black Mirror. Mhm. Mhm. So, like, I really don't care what people think, believe, whatever. It's too late to be in denial. It is what it is. I don't really care. It does not affect me either way. All I'm saying is, if you want information instead of being lied to daily, listen to somebody who's been researching for years and does not gain anything from lying to you. Okay. Mhm. Right. Do y'all remember that movie with Justin Timberlake and they had those watches, or was it their little time chip inside their wrist, and when they would run out of time, they would die? Time, right. Forgot the name of that. Was it Time? The name of that movie? And they had to buy more time. Time was their money. Time was their currency. And who are the timekeepers? Yep. You said they chip you in prison, not something you want. They chip you at they chip dogs and cats. No. Right. Um, oh yeah, he's in that movie Time. Mhm. Global cases of people who have recovered are 354,972 as of yesterday. Yeah. Not everybody is going to die. But do you remember how Trump said this will be, or somebody said that this will be a yearly thing? That this will happen every year, that they see this happening every year? That's because of the 5G carrying it. If, like let's say flu season comes or whatever, allergy season comes or whatever season comes and people get sick somewhere and they cough, the 5G is going to carry it further and faster and it's going to affect someone's frequency and that's how they're catching it so rapidly. Because if you think about it, before 5G, before the frequency of that planet got higher, before they installed like thousands of 5G towers, the flu was killing people already. The flu, yeah, yeah, yeah. But now they're calling it corona, COVID-19. Do some research into that. It is a different type of system. It's like literally a computer virus within it's a bionic, it's between the bionic, digital, and material type illness. Because as the frequency of the planet rises, things become more, you know, vibratory. Things vibrate on a faster scale. Then, think about the digital aspect of certain things or the frequency or the light aspect. Light becomes particles, particles become waves. So, as the earth frequency rises, diseases will change, illnesses will change, how it travels will change, how it's cured will change. They have to raise the people's frequency. Okay. hmm You said, or is magic technology? Well, those called it magic science. Most magic is just science that people are too lazy to explain. Um, mhm, right. And okay, here's another thing. As your frequency raises, knowledge can also raise your frequency. You must learn. You must start studying and learning a lot of these things. You know, you'll be able to tap into other frequencies of creativity. You you won't have to ask how to do something. It will automatically you will automatically be able to pick up on something. You know, so you got to raise your frequency in order to catch information, in order to catch ways to do things. You know, you said 2020 is the year the rats work tirelessly on end. I think this pandemic is a sign for us to slow down. Yeah. hmm But it's working in reverse. Think about it. If people are forced to work from home, I'm going to tell you how everything works in reverse. That the way that you think it's working in reverse. If more people are forced to work from home, how many suburbs are going to have to get 5G towers? How many people are going to need a better phone or a better computer or a better internet service if they want to make money? If they want to, if they have to work from home. I went to Target trying to find a keyboard for Sasha's little computer because the other one is we lost a little piece for the wireless, and they were totally sold out because everyone's working at home now, and so now you're bringing your 5G into your home. So everything you think is working for you is always working against you at the same time. That's why you just have to be on a higher frequency so where it doesn't even bother you. And that's what they're doing. And I'm trying to tell you guys, you're slowing down, but you're also bringing 5G into your house even more. You're slowing down, but you're also streaming or working 8 hours plus if you work from home on your computer, laptop, and phone that probably is working off the 5G tower and bringing that and streaming that into your home with your kids. So understand that everything you think is working for you, or we're slowing down, we're taking a break, but you're also bringing 5G to you as well. So you know it's gonna come either way. It's gonna come either way. You can't escape it. That's already known. So the best thing to do is to use the knowledge that you have and go forward and do what you have to do in order to create the best out of the whole situation. That's how it has to be. That's how it's gonna be. There's no other choice. Mhm. Um, the news not gonna talk about 5G. No, that's conspiracy. Everything is conspiracy until they admit it after it's done and it's too late. Okay, so when you see something that's conspiracy, don't wait for people to admit what it is. When they admit it, it's already done and over with, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you're smart, you don't need the affirmation, or you don't need the approval. You don't need the closure. You don't need anybody giving you acknowledgement that, oh, you're right, it is the 5G. You know, then you know. Okay. That's part of the whole evolution. Knowing and doing what needs to be done instead of waiting for instruction from a shepherd, or, as a sheep. If the house on fire, if the field is on fire, are you going to wait for a shepherd to tell you to run, or to go this way, or go that way? No, you're going to think for yourself, you know. So make sure you start using your own brain. That's number one. That's how you raise your frequency. The first way to raise your frequency is to use your own brain and your own mind for once, instead of waiting on someone to tell you something that you already know, baby. You already know that. Okay. They showed a woman shooting at people installing 5G towers and called it a conspiracy theory, but they never talk about it. 5G law that got passed to install more towers in March. Exactly. They're going to install way more. You're going to see them everywhere. And once they're installed, they're there. They're installed. Um, and a lot of those people will work in the middle of the night so that y'all are asleep and y'all can't shoot. That's what they're gonna do. Or they're just gonna start creating neighborhoods off, way far away, with no technology, and people are gonna start moving out there. They'll be like, "Oh, do you want to live?" Like when the conspiracy is finally out and it's done with. Do you suffer from 5G illness? Well, come out here and live in the neighborhood that's 5G free. Bring your flip phone. We got 2G and we good over here. Or we got 3G and that's good enough for us. Live 3G and come on out to 3Gville. And so people are going to be like, that are really into the conspiracy, they will probably move out, move into those neighborhoods where the 3G is, wherever. And that's where the 3G people will live, or the 4G, whatever you can handle, take. So people will be like, okay, well, let's move out to the 4G. It's far away, middle of nothing. And that's just what that's going to be. So some people are willing to give it up. Some people want to go further. And I think that's the way that the country is going to go. Like, it's going to be your free will to give it up or to move forward. Um, It's just like on all those apocalyptic movies where you have all these people living in a little shanty town, and then there's that high tech place at the top of the mountain or the hill where everybody's dressed pristine and they have this advanced technology, just like that Divergent movie, or all those shows on Netflix where you have to try to get to this new society. It's kind of like that. It's That's what is going to probably happen. The technology is going to determine your rank. What type of technology you can withstand is going to determine your rank in society. And so, you said the intellects, right? Your pedigree will be your ability to withstand certain types of technology. Oh, I'm a 5G. I'm a 6G. Well, I'm a 7G. How you doing? Girl, I'm a 12G. So thank you, Anyana. I feel I'm ready for 12G. They need to speed it up. Right. But I'm what I'm speaking of is just if we think about the sun or stars, they go through the same um when stars go through their phases like the sun, there's going to be some planets that are going to be able to withstand the solar energy change or this or that, and some that are not going to be able to withstand it. It's the same thing. Hmm. How do you donate? Oh, there's a little cash symbol down there, but if you can't do that, here, I'll put my cash app down for those who want to do it that way. I appreciate it. Oh, and it's also down in my description bar. So I appreciate you guys. People don't know how to do high school math, but swear they can break down 5G. You know who can do high school math? Siri. Okay. Some people will have access to Siri, and some people may not have access to Siri in the future. Okay. But Siri can do some high school math. Alexa can do some high school math. Okay. When you're better with words, which means frequency, which means voice, which means sound, which means waves, which create particles, when you're better with words and not math, math is the study of us. Okay. I think Drake said, he said, I'm better with words than I am with math or something, one of his songs. But basically, if you worried about math, math is just the study of the voice or the words or the frequencies and the technologies and how fast they travel and what angle they're traveling in and whatnot. Hmm. You said math isn't the study of sociology. No, sociology is the study of people. I said us. I mean us as energy. I'm on a whole another scientific level. Mhm. You know, society is not energy. It's just a social system. I'm talking about us as an energy. Hmm. You said, did black folks make 5G? I don't know. Did they? I'm sure somebody will trace it back. Did they have wireless technology in ancient Kemet? Was that what those JED towers were? Was those really 5G towers? You know, is that what it was? How you doing? Okay. He said, yes. Yep, that's what it was. They've had this technology forever. They just reintroduce it when the frequencies are correct. When they just reintroduce it ever so often. Hmm. Yep, Tesla picked up on it because he was always messing with electricity. He was trying to get in the frequency to receive knowledge. He was always electrocuting himself. He was in that room with that big old electric wheel trying to pick up on signals and information and stuff. And he said, "Oh, I came up with how to make, wireless energy." Of course you did. You picked up on what they call the Akashic records that's floating in the air. You picked up on the dead. You picked up on the dead and they told you. Do you still think Lil Wayne and Nicki Minaj's Dark Side of the Moon is about 5G? I'm pretty sure all their music is coded. Yes. Okay. Tesla claimed the aliens gave him the secret. Yeah. Extraterrestrials. That means outside of Earth, outside of the Earth's frequency, outside of this Earth's dimension. So other dimensional energies. Yes. Um, so yeah, he was picking up on it. And he created that um tower, and they never finished letting him build it because they figured out what it was going to do, and I don't think they were ready for all of that. Okay. I challenge everyone to seek info outside of YouTube and become limited to education of the blog. Yeah, I challenge anybody to seek knowledge outside of the structured school system created by people who created the system to enslave your mind. Do I sound like Morpheus? Okay. If everything you learned came out of your teacher's mouth at school, you got a problem. Mhm. But yeah, do seek your own knowledge. I never say don't do that. Definitely seek your own knowledge and you'll understand. Study quantum physics. I'll tell you even what to go look for. Go to quantum physics, study that, study quantum entanglement, mhm, and study frequency, study gamma rays, microwaves, infrared rays, and radio waves. Study melanin and the electromagnetic spectrum. Look at the charts and the graphs. Study how melanin reacts when it's activated with water and how it turns into a gamma ray. Okay. Study how gamma rays are constantly blasting the earth and creating, or actually reversing time. Study all of those things. Don't go back to what your high school teachers taught you because that's nothing. They don't, unless they taught you quantum physics. Okay. Um, Once you get into a certain frequency, you have to learn a different science because that other science does not apply anymore in a different type of world that is vibrating on a higher frequency. Yep. Go look up gamma rays reversing time. Just it's science. I mean, I don't hide it. It's on the internet, baby. Go look up gamma rays can reverse time. Just go look it up. Go look up gamma ray blast every 16 days. Just go look it up. Just keep up with the current events, not the stuff on the news. Keep up with the real current events, the things that are really happening energetically. Okay. As the earth is hit with gamma rays over and over, the frequency of the planet rises as well, which means the frequency of the people rise. And if you can't rise with that frequency and you can't evolve with that frequency, it's going to become like you're going to get sick. Okay. I think Nas came out with the album called Poison. He said, I think that song with Swiss Beats that he did called Echo. He says a lot of people gonna get poisoned. And then if you look at the album cover, just go look it up. It's called Poison. It's by Nas. and a lot of people are dead. Everybody got on gang masks or masks on their face. They're choking and they can't breathe. Go look it up. This was way before any of this started happening. So, I mean, a lot of people know this was already planned. This was the plan. Once you put 5G out, this is what happens. Okay. Hmm. Thank you for Farika Sprinkle Sprinkle. Appreciate that. I hope I pronounced that right. You said what's gang? The gamma rays. They're conscious as well. He said, it's like a gang. It's like a it's kind of like a rebellious group of energies that's coming back for vengeance. It's just a gang. It's a family of people seeking, vengeance or, justice or whatnot. Or it's the purge. It's, you know, Hulk, right? It's just so many things. When I say gang, I mean that uncontrollable, chaotic energy that is here to create something new by any means. Okay. Um. Mhm, mhm. Rule one of internet: everything is fake. Rule one of the TV: all news is fake. It's all coded. If you ever listen to CNN or any of the speeches or even the presidential speeches, they're all coded to give information. Um, but do your own research, I promise you. I mean, we have people walking around here eating ice cream with a mask on. We have so many people that don't know what's even going on, Go listen to the song Echo. So many people don't even know what they're doing. I promise you. Um, and you know what? There is gonna come a time. Thank you, Melanie Freeman, Sprinkle Sprinkle. Oh, look at the little kitty. So cute. There's gonna come a time where people are gonna get tired of talking about this and they're just gonna let people figure it out on their own. And the videos will still be up. I will move on to something new. I will stop caring if you don't care at all. And I will just move on to something else. Because I feel that the best time to talk about something is before it happened, while it's happening, and then leave it alone. And I think that's pretty much how it usually goes. And that's it. Okay. Right. And you can't save everybody. There's gonna be some casualties. There's gonna be some sacrifice. You can't save everybody. You know how like they say, oh, you can't wake up everybody. And then the Christians say you can't save everybody. And then the scientists will say, well, you can't save everybody either. So either way it goes, you can't save everybody. People are gonna do what they're gonna do. It's free will. So may the strongest ones win, may the smartest ones win, and whatever. Mhm. Let the dead bury the dead. Exactly. Exactly. Mhm. I don't have time to worry about people that don't listen. I don't have time to worry about people that don't understand the message. I'm making sure my kids and me are okay, and the people that are closer to me know. Now, you can't even force the people that are close to you. You just got to tell them, and they got to do what they need to do because it's all free will. That's the only way it will work if it's free will, because you can't blame anybody. You can't say, well, they didn't tell us, or well, I didn't have access to that information, or I didn't know about that, or I didn't know any better, because the free will and the access is all that you need, just like the law. Just because you don't know that something is against the law doesn't mean you don't pay the price. Oh, I didn't know that was against the law. Too bad. Should have known. Should have researched. Should have did all your studying of the law Sorry you don't know it's illegal, but it is. You still have to pay the consequence. You still have to serve the time. You still got to pay the price. I'm sorry you didn't know any better, but someone should have taught you, or you should have figured it out or learned it yourself. We don't care. The law is the law. See, that's what they're going to tell you if you break a law. So, mhm, there's no excuses anymore. You have access to everything. And once you have that access, it's your responsibility to understand certain things. And, that's what they're going to tell you. Oh, well, you should have figured it out. There's plenty of access. Um, you don't have to go around telling people, just lead by example. Just mention it every now and then. Well, certain things are not good for this, and that, so I don't do them. If you're influential in someone's life, they'll listen to you. You don't have to force the issue. Mhm. Thank you, Idol. You on the right track. Thank you, Sprinkle Sprinkle. I'll be trying to be on the right track. But this is nothing new. Said this years ago, or a year ago, year and a half ago. I feel that most people will figure it out. Hopefully, it won't be too late. I mean, people are smart. They have the internet. Videos go viral. People are smart. I have faith in people. Um, so I know that they'll figure it out sooner or later. Right. Cryptonomics. Protect you. Oh, you got to protect yourself now. So let's look at the upside of this whole thing. Now, don't be mad at me, but we got to look at the upside of it. Thank you, Melanie. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Let's say all the people who are stuck in their ways and won't change, let's say they all die out, right? Only people that are left are the people who know better and know what really is going on. Can you imagine a world filled with people that know better and know what's really going on and share the same type of mindset or thinking or very similar, and they don't have, there's no more people arguing about religion or this or that, because most of the people that most likely will survive are going to be the like-minded people because they knew what it took to survive. They knew what it took to not be affected by certain things. And so they'll be like, wow, this is different. They'll be able to create the new environment, the new whatever in their own way. And those type of people actually figure out how to do things without, causing the thing that destroyed them in the first place. So they'll be the people that will recreate everything because there'll be no toxic, as y'all called them, people left. There'll be no more toxic thinkers left, no more toxic people left because they will have been gotten by the malware. They will have been gotten by the malware. Remember, like on the Matrix, when Mr. No, Agent Smith kept chasing around Neo and Morpheus and all of them when they got into the Matrix, and they would chase them, and then Neo kept getting chased. He had to fight for his life. And then finally, on the last Matrix, where you thought Agent Smith finally got him, Neo like burst out and the agent became Neo. That means he was jamming with that frequency, and his frequency was stronger, and he won and took it over. So Agent Smith would be like 5G. And if you can't outrun it, if you can't out vibrate it, if you're going to constantly be on the run from it every day until you realize, you have to have a certain frequency and you change your thinking, you change a lot of things in your life that raise your frequency, you won't have to run anymore. You will just be able to absorb that frequency and move on with your life, baby. You see, that whole thing was telling you what's happening. Um, mhm. And he had to let go all of that fear. Like he had to face his greatest fear. He had to let go of the fear as well and just like submit, let it take him over. And then his frequency was higher. So he took over the frequency. You see? Um, and see, people are thinking good and evil. It's not good and evil. It's just evolution, change, ascension, literal ascension, you know, literal ascension. If you want to raise your frequency, it's called ascending. And what is going to force people to ascend? What's going to give them a reason to ascend? What's going to put a reason out there to ascend? You know, the frequency, the 5G, the technology. So if you have a reason to ascend, or if you choose to not to ascend or to descend, then that's what's going to happen. But it's there. So, when people talking about, oh, I'm gonna ascend, you're gonna have to ascend physically and spiritually and mentally all at the same time. So how are you gonna ascend one way but not the other? You're gonna be in a hospital bed ascending? Think about it. So, I think we have to really just stop and think instead of being on the offense all the time. We have to really just look at it from a non emotional, no fear aspect and just you know, do the thinking that needs to be done. hmm I think also the quarantine is good for thinking and reflecting. Go lock yourself in your room and think. Stuff, go figure out what it all is. Go think about things. Go think about why this is happening. Go think about what it's creating, what's forcing people to do, what it's forcing, what decisions are being made at this time. And why are they being made? Just go think. Don't go watch the news. Just think. Why are people being forced to take a deeper look at themselves, to know thyself, to figure things out, to see what's really going on, to see who they can really trust, to see what's not being said, to see that they won't say what they should be saying. So it's all revealing things about, the type of media that you get your news from. If they don't say anything about 5G or dairy or whatnot, you know that they don't care about you. So why would you keep continuing to tune in, right? They don't care about you. Go ahead and download this app. Go work from home, get 5G, stream it into your house, eat this free Frosty from Wendy's. You know, there a lot of people don't even realize, but some people have a job to mislead you. Some people's job is to definitely mislead you, to test you, to see if you have your own mind. Okay. Some people got that job as part of their job description. Okay, well, you got to lie and mislead these people and see if they can think for themselves. Because, I know they asked you about the 5G, but you didn't say nothing. Let's see if they're smart enough to go figure it out themselves. Hmm. So people, like especially media people, they just have a script to read. They got a teleprompter there. That's all they got to do. They get paid to read a teleprompter, baby. That's all. So just think about that. I don't get paid to read a teleprompter. I'm reading y'all's comments and responding to you. I don't get paid to read a teleprompter. Everything that I'm saying is coming from me and not some screen that somebody typed up. Okay? Right. You said Trump is a double agent. Yeah, he sure is. You got to listen to his. You see, he speaks in code. That's how he's a double agent. Whatever he's saying, decode it, and you'll have the real message. Okay. Uh huh. Yeah, yeah. So y'all do your own research. Um. So let me decode one thing for you. You know how they say the meek will inherit the earth? You know what that means, right? Let's see how smart people are. I talked about it earlier in this video. The meek will inherit the earth. What does the word meek mean? Go look it up. I don't have my phone. I'll have to look it up on here, but I don't want to type. Just go look up what the word meek means. Look up every definition of it. Okay. Okay. And how do you inherit something? What is okay? Now look up inherit. See, words are very powerful and important. Just go look it up. Okay. Now, what does inherit mean? Go look up inherit. Then I'll explain it to you because some of y'all are on the right track, some of y'all are not. So, what does inherit mean? To inherit, to take over. No, read the definition. Go to online and go get the definition. Go get the exact words, not from your own mind. Just go get the definition. Thank you. Thank you, Melanie. She always dropping the gems. Thank you, Sprinkle Sprinkle. Okay. Hmm. Okay. I wish I had my phone. Now I could just do it for y'all because a lot of y'all are only reading the first definition. Y'all got to go into it. Okay. Mm, 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 mhm, mhm, mhm. All right. I'm trying to see who has it right. Inherit, receive as a right from Old French, Latin inherit, appoint as an heir. Okay. Now look up earth, to be left with. The folk you least expect will be left with the planet. Come into the possession of something as a right. Hmm. Okay. So here's the thing. Now I'm finna get real metaphysical. Y'all ready? Is this a metaphysical thing? The weak, the gentle, the humble, the meek, those who are weak, all right, will inherit the earth as an heir and will be in possession. They will possess the earth. Okay. So, you know how they're always saying, oh, the ancestors are in the weather and in the trees and in the ground and in the grass, and they're very nature based. So, the weak are going to be those people who are buried and who die, and their souls go into the grass and the trees, just like on that show. I mean, on that movie, um, Avatar. Okay, those are the meek. Those are the weak. Remember when that lady got shot and that she went into that tree? So the ones who don't make it in the spiritual war are going to be the meek. It's not what you thought it was. Yeah, you were right. So the earth itself is just the earth, the possession of the earth, the spirits of the earth, the elementals of the earth. Okay. Um, that's why I say I don't want to be buried. I want to be, I want to rule. Because think about it. If you're cosmic, you possess it all because one created the other. So when you ascend into a cosmic level, when you're what Thoth calls spaceborne, you're over all of it. Okay. If you when the meek inherit the earth, it means their spirit possesses the earth, and then your earth, you're part of the earth. You become part of the spirits of the earth, and your consciousness becomes a part of the earth's consciousness. Your frequency becomes part of the earth's frequency. Okay. And then, you have those people that are ghosts. Kids see ghosts sometimes. Kids see ghosts sometimes. Spirit, those are the people that get caught up in the 5G. Those are the people that are going to get caught up in the waves and the frequencies of the technology. Those are going to be the ghosts. Um, then you're going to have the extraterrestrials or the spaceborne or the entities of the cosmos. They're all us. All of them are us. So, depending on what you know, your level of conscious and your level of frequency is where you spend your afterlife. You can choose to change at any time if you are so lucky or decide to be reincarnated, you know. So here's the thing. If you are a spirit of the air, of the frequencies of the waves, and let's say you want to be reborn, and someone that looks like you that is on your frequency is born, then you can enter into their lungs through their nose and their mouth because that's how the soul enters the body. So, but if there's no one on your frequency being born, then you're kind of stuck forever, right? So that's why people are really forcing people to mix race or to get melanin if you don't have any. Because as the frequency rises, many people that are in a lower frequency are going to get ill and not going to be able to reproduce at the same rate as they once did. So that there's less people coming into the earth, less souls are going to be able to come through as far as on that lower frequency. So, you know, not good. Then you'll have the opposite, you know, because you're going to have cosmic beings and then all the spirits of the earth that are going to, try to come in. So you're gonna have to worry about who's being reborn, who's being reincarnated, and who's getting what. And if there's an abundance of higher frequency beings that are reproducing um, at a certain rate, then those are going to be the cosmos or the cosmic energies or the cosmic souls coming and being reborn through them, which is then going to change how the world works. Because if you were smart enough to get space born in the first place, and you're coming from the cosmos and you're being reincarnated through the children that are coming through today, you're getting ready to create a lot of stuff in the world um, that is on a higher level or a higher frequency. Okay. Right. And y'all are still thinking on the silly, weird level, but I'm talking frequency wise. I'm talking frequency wise. You have to match the same frequency. If you don't match the frequency, you can't be born through those people. If that zygote or that egg and that creates that baby that comes out of that womb is not on the correct frequency that you need in order to feel them, you can't go inside of them. You got to go pick somebody of a lower frequency or a higher frequency. Okay. I also think that's why sometimes a lot of babies are born still or die shortly after because they chose the wrong frequency. They were trying sometimes they were trying too hard or they just had to come through for a second to get cosmic born. And so a lot of weird metaphysical stuff goes down like that. And I know a lot of people are sensitive to stuff like death, so I can't really talk about it as much as I would like to. But honestly, sometimes people just be reborn so they can be cosmically born reborn. Like, you ever had someone who didn't live very long? They just wanted to get in and get out on the next level. They wanted to take a train to the next level. That's why that train station was in the Matrix. I forgot which one it was. They was just trying to get to the next level. So, sometimes it happens. Okay. The way that I would talk about death would not even be sad. It would just be like a transition. It would be like changing trains or getting a different vehicle. So, um, I don't look at stuff anymore from like the 3D level unless I have to. When I think about stuff like on this deep level, it's so much deeper than what people really think. That's why there's a lot of elemental spirits. There's more earth elemental spirits. There's more earth-based religions. There's more pagan earth-based religions and things than there are cosmic religions or not religions, but cosmic beings because so many people are reincarnated and pushed back into the earth to become elementals. Some people get caught up in the frequencies, you know, and become part of the wind or the electricity or the waves or the 5G. And then some people are spaceborne. So, call my girls and put them all on a spaceship, you know, with Beyonce's line. So I think depending on who you are, what you know, and your frequency depends on where you will spend your afterlife. The etymology says complaint. I am not complaint with this miss. Compliant. All right. You are not compliant. So, so when they say Mother Earth or the earth is alive and earth has chakras and earth is a being and earth is a body, it's true because all those ancestors, all those people that died and became part of the earth and can experience life again through the systems of earth, they still have a consciousness, you know, and, they learn, they watch and they learn again. And this is why some people are more, this is why some people are naturally more drawn to the cosmos and some people are more naturally drawn to the earth. And some people are more naturally drawn to psychedelics, like, you know, stuff that make you hallucinate because the things that come from the earth, And this is why some people have to open up the skies and let in the cosmic energy because everyone has to get activated. The volcanoes and the mushrooms and the spores activate, some earthly people. And then we have the cosmic people that need to be activated by the sun, the moon energy, the star energy, the gamma ray energy. And so all of that is coming in right now from the earth, from the sky, and now the 5G coming from the air. Okay. So all these things are happening right now at the same time. You have lots of earthquakes. You have some people smelling sulfur, thinking this volcano is going to erupt in the US. You got the magnetic pole shifting. You got the solar, I mean, the polar caps melting. You got the cosmic rays and gamma rays coming in. You got the 5G going. So everything is about to transition. Everything is about to transition in a way. Okay. So whichever category you fall under, if you're a meek person, you will inherit the earth. That means you will become part of the earth. If you are if your frequency is not strong enough to escape, you will become part of the energy that is, circling us, the 5G. And if you are able to be cosmic born, you will be cosmic ray, cosmically born. You will ascend to that level of consciousness, upon death, upon the departure of here. That will be where you go. You know how they say, oh, inner earth? You got inner earth beings, you got the earth beings, you got the people that live in the sky, then you got the people that are extraterrestrials, right? But they're all us. Thank you, Jay Dory. What happens to people who commit suicide? My brother had sleep paralysis and very into spiritual before death. Depends on what he knew. Depends on where he went. Depends on how high his frequency was. All of that matters. So depends on his frequency, what he knew, and how high his frequency was, and how all of that. So you would be better to answer that question. Hmm. Thank you, Khalil. Khalia. Is that why I feel the moon now? Probably. Hmm. How does soul age come into play? Well, depending on if you were earth spirit before and then, you know, you were earthborn and then you got some, you know, melanin, you made it mixed with someone cosmic or in the know, or I don't know, and you kept your consciousness with you and you were always led to study certain things and get certain information. You were always drawn to the stars versus the earth. It's like you know something, it's in your DNA. You've already experienced the earth. Now you want to experience something different. So now you're more inclined to be looking at the stars. And eventually everyone will get to be part of this, and that. So eventually everyone will be able to be a part of the stars or the earth. And see, the matrix, Neo was able to access both because he was both. That's why he was supposed to be biracial or mixed or whatever. Melanated. That's why they chose him because he had the black hair. So, like Thoth, he was able to go down to the halls of Amenti, the earth, and he was able to be spaceborne. So he was one of the he was able to go into both places and ascend, descend, and ascend. So I think when you realize that, if you have the knowledge, if you know, if you have the frequency, if you have the knowledge to go up, down, sideways, all around, and go in and out of the matrix at will, like Neo did, then that's cosmic. You realize they were in outer space, right? On the Nebuchadnezzar or whatever they was on. So So that whole Matrix movie system or that whole Matrix movie trilogy was basically, saying what happens to you in the afterlife, the in between, and when you are able to come in and out of the Matrix and be reincarnated or be reborn, or your spirit can enter certain people and allow them to make certain decisions. And then you can come out and go into someone else at any other time. So, yes, get knowledge. I'm telling you, it will help you ascend and know things and help you in the afterlife and give you more choices. Thank you, Blue Sage. What crystals are for higher frequency? Any crystal will heighten your frequency. I say mm, it depends on what you want, how high you want your frequency. I say anything, I say Numite, amethyst, garnet, regular old quartz crystal, you know, hematite, bismuth, anything, anything will basically raise your frequency. You said smoky quartz, anything will raise your frequency. Just get one. Um, Pyrite, Neil deGrasse Tyson said he'd rather be back in the earth and will be part of Earth life cycle once the worms ate his flesh. Yep. Well, obviously he already came from the cosmos and he mixed back into the earth. But he wants to go back to the earth to fix the earth to see. If you already know how the stars work because you've probably been there. I mean, he knows a lot, right? Maybe he wants to know the earth again. Maybe he wants to go back and do that again because we keep going in cycles. Maybe one lifespan he'll go into the earth, and another lifespan he'll go into the cosmos. You know. Hmm. Right. So it just depends on who you are and where you are in your consciousness and what you've experienced and what you want to experience next. Just if you read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, you'll see him going through his mind. It's like, well, I've already done that. I think I want to go do this now. Now I want to go down here and do this. If you read the Emerald Tablets, you'll notice that Thoth is deciding where he wants to go next. He has the option depending on, because of his frequency. He can choose where he wants to go next. He can go to sleep. He can go down back to the halls of Amenti. He can go into his Aguanti, which is his sleep. He can go to the spaceborne. He can go to other galaxies. So he's pretty much able to go where he wants because he has the ability to do so. And so, people that don't realize their power, their abilities, their frequencies, and all the knowledge and things that are necessary to be able to choose and pick and create the life as well as the afterlife that you desire and the reincarnation that you desire, you got to get that knowledge because that's the difference between people that don't have the knowledge. Then, they got to start from square one. Started from the bottom, now I'm here. They got to start from square one and work their way back. And you know how, like, when some people have already done everything, they start back at one just to start over and get better each time. You know, um, if you've done something 20 times, you come back on the 20th time, you're going to be the best at it. If you keep going, I would love to see, like, the masters that we have today have probably been here and done the cycle several times until they've mastered it over and over. You know. Yeah, humans are unlimited, immortal. Um, the only time you become mortal is when you forget who you are. No mere mortal can resist the evil of the thriller. The evil represents the death. The death, you can't resist death. That means you choose to believe in death. You choose to believe whatever, you know. leads to death, and death leads back to life, but you have to experience it through becoming alive through the earth. So, right. Mandela effect plays through all this. Yeah, when things started changing, and things started, first of all, study quantum entanglement, and then also, um, yeah, quantum entanglement as well as all the gamma rays that are hitting the planet. It has a lot to do with time and space. Mhm. It's kind of like you have a remote control and you're watching a DVD, but you're watching one of those movies that have alternate endings, like a Black Mirror movie, whatever. You're watching one of those movies where you have several endings. And so, depending on which one you create or watch, that's the movie you're going to get. Mhm. Okay. How can you go back in time and change the now? Um, you can't change the now if you're living now. You can only change the future. No, you create the future. You can only create the future. If you go back and change the now, you won't be in the now. You know. Hmm. So there will be nothing to change. That's why as many times as people try to go back and change the past, it doesn't work because if you're in the future, you've already seen the past. And so you'll know what happened and what to do. So you can't change the past and fight with people that can create the future. It doesn't work. That's like the only way you can change the past is to end time. That's deep, man. The only way to change past is to end time because you can't trick someone that's ahead of you. You know, you can't change something that people aren't going to be aware of something that was changed in the future. See, it's just going to create more havoc. You said, that's my movie. Right. So just think about it that way. Only thing you can do is sacrifice yourself and live in a timeless world if you want to change anything. Hmm. You said you got a friend that says born in 95 and you have a big purpose. Everybody got a big purpose, you know. Um, and that's another thing. Like if someone has to tell you who you are, you will never seek who you really are. Think about that. If someone has to tell you who you are and what your purpose is, you will never go and seek it for yourself. Think about that. If you don't fulfill your destiny, you have to come back to earth after you die. You create your own destiny. So, you know what I mean? I feel like the only thing the past has done for me was to make me into a more complete being once I examined it and accepted the reality. That's true. Now, you see a lot when a lot of people get into spirituality, I'm going to end this in a few minutes. When a lot of people get into spirituality on a spiritual path, the first thing they go and do is ask other people who they are. Who am I? What do you see for me? What am I going to do in the future? How can you go on a journey of self actualization and spiritual growth if you're asking other people who you are? That's that's the first thing that most people do, and that's understandable because first you have to seek without in order to realize that you need to seek within. Because you're gonna get this answer, you're gonna get this answer, you're gonna get so many different answers of what other people think of you or think you are, and you're not gonna agree to any of those things. You're not going to agree to any of those things that other people told you you were because that's not who you are. That's why you either continuously seek other people's opinion of you or uh, go deeper within and get it for yourself. Right. There are still people here that have been going to person after person for 20 years asking them what their future holds and who they are and what are they meant to do. There are people out here seeking self outside of self for 20 plus years. And those are the type of people that will end up in the earth possessing it, starting from scratch, becoming roots and fungi and plant matter and trees and wind, I mean, and spores and things like that. Those are the kind of people that will inherit the earth. So, because they don't know any better and they have to start over from scratch. Okay. Um, they don't even really get to be an animal. They got to be a plant, baby. They got to be a fungus. They got to be a spore that comes out of a mushroom and floats through the earth. And, they got to start from square one because they did not seek any higher knowledge. They just asked people who they were that didn't have higher knowledge of themselves either. So basically, it was the lost leading the blind. So next time you come back, you won't do that. You'll seek answers within. You'll look to self. You'll be a what they call a hermit and seek the light within. hmm So, you have several types of spiritual people. You have the scary, I call the scary superstitious people. Those people will inherit the earth. You have the people that know a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but not enough. They might or might not, they might figure it out or they might go back to the earth, but come out with more knowledge and be you know, a higher element. And then you'll have the people that figured it out and will be like able to access cosmos, earth, and the air. So it depends on your level of seeking knowledge while you're alive. Because you know how they say earth is a school? When you incarnate on the planet as a human, this is your school. This is your time to learn and figure out what you're going to do next. And so, you know how on the Kanye West album cover it said graduation and he was being shot out into space? He graduated. So, just think. And this is the graduation ceremony. This is the finals we're in right now. We're taking finals, and we're taking do the SATs, baby. We're taking our SATs to see what college or how we're going to graduate in our class. That's why there's no school graduation this year in 2020. Ain't nobody walking down the aisle of the graduation ceremony because this is symbolic of the graduation. Okay. People will either not graduate, have to go back to school, drop out. Remember high school dropout or college dropout? Well, I guess this could be college too. But college dropout. Remember the album? I know Kanye was on it. Then was it late admission? Then the graduation. He had to go through it 3 times. The Hermes Trismegistus, thrice great. Okay. So either you learn or you don't learn. Either you graduate, you drop out, you start over. Late registration. That's what it was. Late registration. So are you going to graduate? You going to go back to school or you going to drop out? hmm But, I try to explain things in the ways that people can understand. And I don't like to push fear factor on people. I don't like to force people to change because it's supposed to be free will. So I'm not going to do that anymore. Talk about, oh, well, you need to eat this and you need to eat that. That is totally up to you guys. Um, how you want to spend your afterlife and your rebirth. And that's just something that people will have to realize. You know how some people are reborn and they ask, well, why am I on this level in this lifetime? Because that's the frequency you chose in your former life. That's the frequency that you chose to come back through. You know, um, you were not spaceborne. You didn't go out into the cosmos and get knowledge that was not of the earth. So you're only coming back with knowledge of earth. Um, and so that's what you have. You don't have access to all three. You only have access to the lowest uh, elements on the planet. So some people have access to the cosmos, to the ethers, and to the earth. hmm So depending on what your mama told you, look, it all goes back to your mama and your daddy too. Oh, my contact is dry. Your mom told you this, but you still have free will. You could still go and open a book. You could still go and learn. You could still go and seek knowledge within. Just because your mom taught you something doesn't mean that's who you are. You can go and learn something else, just like I did. Sometimes the mom doesn't know any better. Sometimes the father doesn't know any better. Sometimes you just have to go in your own direction to become who you're supposed to become. So if I say, no, that don't sound right to me, got to go in a different direction. Okay, nope, that don't sound right to me either. I'm going to go in this direction. This sounds right. This is what I'm after, you know, and it pays off. And you have access to, higher realms. Then you have to follow yourself. You can't follow other people. If you look at your parents and you don't want to be like them, or you want to go higher than them, why would you take their advice when you know there's other knowledge out there that will take you higher? I mean, yeah, you have to listen to them if you're living under their roof and, until you're 18 or whatnot. But if their lifestyle and their current lifestyle is not the lifestyle that you desire, why would you take advice from them about how to acquire that certain lifestyle that you don't want? So most people take it upon themselves to go get other information outside of their home, their family, to get the type of lifestyle they desire. And that's the same thing with spirituality. Okay. It's the same thing. Just because your parents were born this religion does not mean you have to die that with that religion or that mindset. You have the free will to change, to get knowledge, to access different information while you're here. Um, Y'all, just like Harry Potter. He sat down and they put that hat on his head And they say, "Oh, you could be a Gryffindor, but you can also be a Slytherin." Which one you gonna be? You gonna be a bird or a snake? One can fly, one have to slither on the ground. You see? Mhm. So he had the free will. He could choose because he was both. That's why Voldemort couldn't kill him because he was what, a mud blood that they call him mud blood. He had access to both. You see the Hufflepuff, a drake or an eagle, right? Fly like an eagle, eagle. Thank you, Abby's aura. Sprinkle, sprinkle into the future. Thank you, Abby's aura. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Mhm. Facts. Sure. What's the code in J song? Blame it on the boogie. The frequency. The frequency is the boogie. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the boogie. The boogie is the frequency. Blame it on your frequency. Don't. The sunshine would be like, don't blame it on the black people. Don't blame it on the white people. Don't blame it on the good time. Don't blame it on time. Blame it on your frequency. That nasty boogie bugs me, but somehow it has drugged me. Spellbound rhythm gets me off my feet. See, it's the frequency. Just go listen to the lyrics. You'll be able to decode it. It's so super simple on that. We love Michael. Right. So anyway, I hope y'all got something out of this and know what time it is and understand what it is and lead your if you have children, lead them in the correct direction according to your knowledge and then allow them the free will to, lead their own spiritual path. So I feel that as long as you have knowledge and information, you're able to make better choices. Never make someone's choice for them. Just give them the information that they need in order to make the choice. Okay. You have all the information that you would need. You have access to internet. What you choose to do is up to you. hmm And remember, when a virus or a cough or a germ or a frequency, I'm not even going to say it's a germ anymore. Now it's a frequency. When a frequency gets inside your body, you have to jam with it. Jam. It ain't too much of it ain't, don't you? It ain't too much for me to jam. So when I say jam with it, it means you have to beat it. Beat it. No one wants to be defeated. Show them how funky strong is your fight. It doesn't matter who's wrong or right. Just beat it, beat it. Why he breathing like that, huh? Well, why he got gangs fighting? That's gang. Space Jam, yep. And they start playing that electric guitar. Y'all know what that electric guitar represents? That's that 5G. So he always had electric guitar. hmm Um, what do I think about codependency? Mm, well, I hope the person that you're codependent on is smart and wise. Okay. Yeah, that electric guitar is the electric frequency. It's it's the frequency getting higher. It's taking acoustic and turning it into electricity. So it signifies a higher frequency. Right. So whenever you hear that electric guitar get in, it's like that's why on the Isley Brothers, they always had that electric guitar because they were always talking about frequency being returning to this state of consciousness and da 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 on their deeper music anyway. Um, he said as long as people don't start turning into zombies, the living dead. I'm the living dead, the dark thoughts in your head. You heard just what I said. The living dead. Hmm. And you know what? They're how do you even know that all they're putting out is 5G? They could just turn it up to 6G without telling you at any moment. I'm just like, oh, 5.2, 5.5, 5.6, 5.7, 5.8, 5.9. You know? Because you know those towers that they're building, they're for more than 5G. They're for 6G and 7G. They're not just for 5G. They're not going to tear those down when 5G is over and build a 6G tower. No, they're just going to turn it up. Now, think about what hangs out on the five one. Have you if you live in a rural area and you see the 5G towers, think about what type of birds hang out on the 5G towers. Big birds, buzzards, crows. Mhm. They like that frequency because it's the frequency of the dead. And you have buzzards or vultures, and then you have the crows, you have the blackbirds that hang out on the 5G towers because that's the frequency of the dead. I call them buzzards. If you look back in ancient Kemet, they have vultures in their hieroglyphs. They represent the dead. Okay. hmm How do cloud cover affect our individual cells? Well, in the summer, they can't do that anymore because, the clouds are going to dissipate because of the tilt of the earth, and then the amount of heat coming in is going to disperse those clouds. So the sun is going to come in the summer. And so a lot of people's DNA will be activated. A lot of people will wake up. A lot of people will, vibrate on a higher frequency. The clouds have too much chemicals in it and, causing people's immune system to act up and create antibodies and extra mucus and all that. So, stuff being spit out into the air and traveling through the 5G waves and taken to other people, death is taking death around the world, literally. If you have 5G energy that's fueled by death or, spirits of the dead taking illness, how you see the cartoon of death, flying through the air and visiting people with the illness, the grim reaper, the harvest. A lot of people will associate that as well. Like, why does it fly? Why does it have a sickle? Why does the sickle look like, you know the moon? What does the moon represent? Death. When do the most people die? During the full moon, the harvest. You know, it just keeps going and going. The more you learn, you'll see. All right. Well, I'm getting ready to go, y'all. I appreciate you guys and sprinkle sprinkle. Hopefully y'all got some good information from this video. B girl, I hope you said you're scared. Just go learn. There's nothing to fear if you just learn. I keep telling y'all, knowledge is the key. The more you learn, the less you need to fear. If you are know you a lazy bum and you know you ain't gonna go learn and you know you're just gonna be stuck in your superstition, then you know. Okay. Accept it and make the best out of it. Prepare. I don't know. But if you're smart, you'll sign up to somebody's YouTube channel or go get your own books or read this and do your own research and figure it out. Or you'll just believe whatever your mama taught you and have a good afterlife or whatever. It's up to y'all. It's up to y'all. Everybody knows it's up to them. So whatever you choose to do with that is what you choose to do with it. I'm just the messenger. I'm just telling y'all. And if whatever you choose to do with it, that's what you choose to do with it. Okay? You say you're lazy with everything except for research. Well, good. See, you're good. Someone says, watch Forbidden Knowledge TV. Yes, y'all can sign up my link below. Go ahead and sign up because, a lot of the missing pieces of the puzzle, you can go and watch and fill them in and get your knowledge on. If you don't have time to read and go research books and stuff, that's a great place to start. You're absolutely right, whoever said that. Um, yeah, y'all can sign up. My link is in the description bar to Forbidden Knowledge TV. Right. All right, y'all. I'm going to head out and y'all have a wonderful evening and, do your research. Bye.